Good morning. Chris Lee, Max Barr, frozen Blake Lovell here to talk SEC basketball. We're going to go over Kentucky and Colgate. When I say frozen, I don't mean on your video. I mean literally like where he is. This man is doing this show in like 35 degrees from his garage. I mean, some of us like this. Some of us play through the conditions. I'm not this man, he's earning his pay this morning. Anyway, all fun and games aside, we will talk about Kentucky's victory over Colgate. We'll look a little bit ahead to the schedule of games on Saturday because, boy, are there some big games for the SEC. Maybe take your comments and questions, especially if those come in super chats. That helps us pay the bills around here. Max Barr, I'm going to kick it to you first. Kentucky had a very interesting win last night over Colgate. The Cats jump out 17-0. And we're just all thinking this is going to be a 68-point blowout. Well, guess what? On the heels of that weird Arkansas game the night before, Colgate not only comes back, Colgate takes the lead in the second half. And then Kentucky hits a barrage of three-pointers, I don't know, about 4 or 5, just bang, 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 bang. Midway through the second half to take control and get away with the win. We talked about how Kentucky did not have its main point guards. It's something to watch. Anyway, what did you take away? What stuck out to you last night from Kentucky's win over Colgate?
Well, Chris, what's sticking out to me right now is the amount of Cats fans we've got in here already. We've got Devin. Good morning, Devin. Glad you're here. We got Johnny. Go Cats. Nate. Good morning to all the people wearing hats. Nate? What was that? But now, glad you guys are in here. Hey, was not the prettiest of wins, but as Brandon Ramsey, the great Brandon Ramsey, said on Twitter last night, Cats were due for one of these non-conference mid-major kind of stinkers. You know, they had been, 105-76 against G-State, Western Kentucky by 20, Jackson State should have called that game at 10 minutes before it ended. So they were due for a little bit of a stinker. I'm not going to overreact. But, hey, Matt G is here. You didn't say hi to me, Max. Blake and Chris can back me up here. Matt, I was hoping you were going to be in here before the chat. Oh, and there goes. Well, hey, he doesn't have my back today, I guess.
Chris doesn't have your back. It's going to have to be me, pal, because Chris said, I don't have your back, Max. I'm hopping off the stream. So, there you go.
I was hoping we'd have the Cats fans in here today. Good to see you guys.
All right. Anyway, sorry. We were running a couple minutes behind due to technical issues around here. Boy, there's a surprise at Southeastern 16. But speaking of technical issues, he's back. But yeah, I mean, I don't remember. I think you said it, Max. Like Brandon said that. I texted that to multiple people. I'm like, at some point, you were gonna have a game like this. You know, It had to happen. And again, if you think of like the injury setup, like we talked about, maybe it's not that shocking that it was this particular type setting here, where you've got this, almost a Christmas type game versus a team that's 2-8 coming into the game. It was a little uncomfortable there for a bit because you were thinking like early in that second half, you're like, oh boy, this could be not great. But I think, again, you sort of just kept waiting and knowing that Kentucky was going to pull away a bit, and it was inevitable, and I think once again it speaks to the balance we talk about with this team. I mean, they needed that, all 5 starters between 11 and 17 points here. And, like we said, there are 2 key pieces out of the mix right now. But if you can get Butler back, ready to go for Louisville, we know Crease is out for a bit. That will make a difference because, we mentioned, Max, all the different possibilities when you have Jackson Robinson being able to kind of run the show, but at the same time, it's not where you want him to have to be. You need him to do other things. And so I can't say I'm stunned by the game exactly playing out a little bit like that we think it'd be, maybe 20-point game, 25, something like that, sure. But I just think teams are going to have games like this, especially with the injury situation that we've discussed multiple times this week. So
Mark Pope called it a weird game, and it kind of was on both sides. Colgate had wanted to, I think, to go zone after made baskets, but when you get outscored 17-0 out of the jump, um, you can't really do that. Once that happened, that is kind of when the game, once Colgate got a bucket, that's when the game started to flip pretty quickly. What I saw as the key for Kentucky was just kind of what it's done well, throwing the ball around the perimeter, playing smart, taking good shots. And sometimes you can be a good shooting team. They just don't fall. Sometimes basketball is just as simple as do your shots fall. And I think Pope did allude to the fact that maybe we weren't as sharp and motivated. I think that Andrew Carr might have mentioned that too in the post-game press conference. But I think it just was simple as once the shots started falling for Kentucky late, that was the difference.
Yeah, a few things that I picked up on. We did, as even if a game like this without Kriisa and without Butler, you don't want to put too much into it. We can take some stuff away from who's stepping up. And I'm not going to lie, Perry, Chandler, not sure if they're ready for the SEC yet. But Noah looked good. I liked what I saw out of him. A little toughness in Noah. I like it. 220 also. Sneaky 220. He's got a little bit more physical than you think he is. And then also, I dove into some numbers, okay? Dove into a little bit of numbers. Come on. What else do you expect? I'm going to start calling Kentucky the third quarter Cats, okay? The third quarter Cats, because when you break the game up into 10 minutes and you break it up into 4 quarters, that third quarter, that first 10 minutes of that second half, right now Kentucky's 8-2 on the year, okay? And the only 2 losses in that third quarter are Western Kentucky and then the game right after Western Kentucky, Georgia State. And they were up. It wasn't like it's like grind time. We got to go, firing out of the second half. So keep an eye on that. I'm going to be keeping track of the third quarter Cats. Right now, 8-2 on the third quarter. And then I got one more thing, okay? So I was trying to find out this team's 3-pointers, right? Because you have Brea, and then it seems like you have everybody else. So I went into the numbers and I figured it out. So right now, Kentucky is shooting 35.5% as a team from 3. That ranks 96th nationally, okay? That's 8th in the SEC also. All right, so right about middle of the pack SEC, top 100 nationally. If you take out Brea, so the non-Kobe Brea Kentucky team, they're shooting 30% from 3, which is 283rd nationally, and it's tied for dead last in the SEC with Texas A&M. So I don't know if I want to say, wow, they are winning all these games with basically everyone but Kobe Brea not shooting well, or if you want to lean into like, this is kind of concerning now that we're 10 games into the season, and besides Kobe Brea, this team is dead last in the SEC in 3-point percentage. I don't know which way I want to go in, but I found that last night and thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I know Pope was excited they got over 30 attempts. He did bring that up, his excitement, just for the numbers. But like you said, I mean, I still believe in the SEC. Like, they're shooting, like you said, if you take him out of the mix as a whole, yeah, I get it. But I do think, once we get into like SEC games, we always say this. It's just, if you look at the SEC traditionally, it's a league that does not shoot the 3 very well, like as a whole. And so if you can be a team that can be, quite honestly, at times average or better, you're going to be okay probably. But I think there are some teams that are shooting it a bit better than we expected this year. And so it's kind of interesting when you have some of those teams that have kind of popped up and shot it better so far, to where, okay, is Kentucky going to be just that? What were we talking about? I think, Max, it was Kentucky and Oklahoma, right? Were those the 2 teams this summer? 2. Yeah, they were the top 2. And so, are they going to be the top 2 by the time we get to into January, something like that? I don't know, because again, it seems like there are some teams shooting it better, but also consider the competition when you're playing. You're going to have some games where you're playing against lesser opponents. You're going to have some games against better opponents, all that. But it's definitely going to be a key for them, right? I mean, it's the 3-point shooting. Again, Mark Pope thrilled that they attempted, more than 30 here. Like, that's the number. He loves to see that number above 30. So I feel like that is, going to be something they're going to be focused on, kind of moving forward, and we'll see how it continues to. I still feel like, you're going to run into that buzzsaw with Kentucky on multiple nights in SEC play. We're going to come out, they're going to shoot 38 threes, they're going to hit, 16 of them or whatever, and you're just going to get beat by 15. And I just think, again, how many teams can say that? Probably a lot in the SEC. And so I still think that's the one thing that can separate them. But like you said, Max, if you look at the numbers, they do have to improve a little bit outside of, one guy or so. But
I pulled the stats from last year. Here's what Kentucky's roster did last season. You guys alluded to it, but just the exact numbers. This roster last year at the collegiate level went 424 for 1069 from three. That is a percentage of 40%, which is elite. So I think that we've seen this offense. We know what Mark Pope wants to do. It's not like this is a team of guys that are going to be, if I miss a shot, I'm gonna get afraid and play tight. No, I think this is going to bounce fine for Kentucky. Again, I've had other concerns for Kentucky that are way above and beyond three-pointers. So to me, this is a team that I think we're going to look up in March, and it will have shot the ball well from distance.
Well, you did say something about being elite, Chris, and I think that's very important because there's someone I know out there that's very elite, and, you can be elite as well if you decide to put, let's say, a 28-team parlay or something like that.
I was thinking that too, Blake.
On, let's say you put a parlay on Kentucky, every other SEC team, you go pick some other winners out there, and you're like, I'm all in, 28-team parlay, I'm going to win $643,000 this weekend on college basketball. If you want to do that, you can do it at our friends at BetOnline, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action, the ability to watch the games as they happen, the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. My suggestion, go do a 68-team parlay this weekend on all those sports, football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. Is there UFC this weekend, Max?
Of course there is.
Of course there is. Go bet on it and just do like a $1 parlay on like 80-something games and just see what happens, right? That's not asking for too much. You only need 80 games to go in your favor. If you want to do that, head to BetOnline today and use that promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline. The game starts here. What do you think, Max? Do you approve of that?
That was fantastic. Guys, okay. Devin brings up a great point. Once again, our chat just being fantastic. Kentucky shooting bad or good defense from opponents. If it's the former, could be dangerous if they hit a good shooting streak at the right time. I don't know the answer right now. I think it's probably more the opponents when you look at some of the defenses that they've played. But I mean, hey, this is a great problem to have, being 9-1, and you're talking about shooting woes while you're 9-1. I mean, that's a nice problem to have.
All right, I got some Mark Pope quotes.
Here we go.
All right, I was trying to find some audio, but quite frankly, I just can't find any. All right, I'm going to give you a couple things, though. We talk about the injury situation, right? So, and I apologize if one of you guys said this earlier, but I was trying to do the technical stuff on the thing here. But Pope did say on Kirk Reese that he had surgery, and that Vegas would say it's a 6-week period, but Mark Pope says, I'm going to go 10 days. We'll see how it goes. So,
that's
he's optimistic.
Difference.
That's not a huge difference. Come on, 10 days, 6 weeks. I don't think that's a huge difference at all. So he did mention that, and then he did talk about Lamont Butler, saying that really is pretty simple. Hey, we'd like to get him back as soon as possible. We'll find out, right? I mean, we'll see if he plays on Saturday against Louisville or not. But he's back on the court doing stuff, so trending in the right direction, you would feel like there. And so, yeah, I feel like that's kind of where we are. But so we'll see, again, what happens with that situation. But Mark Pope, the over-under, he's going 11 days. He's going the under on Kirk Reese being back. So maybe a little too optimistic, but we'll find out. So, he also said this. Here's another quote for you. Did you see this, Max?
What?
Seen this one from a tweet from Tyler Thompson, KSR. This is from Mark Pope on Kerr Kriisa after his surgery. Quote, in true Kerr fashion, he FaceTimed me the second he woke up, and he fully acknowledged he was high as a kite. And he was going down a laundry list of the people he loved so much. And then Pope said he wanted to Instagram Live it, but he didn't know how. So there you go.
Oh, my gosh. That is fantastic.
Stuff. Incredible stuff. So
I just keep liking this guy more and more. I like this guy. Gosh, Kerr Kriisa, what a guy.
Reminds me of Justin Holland, to be honest with you. I just keep liking this guy more and more because he says, smash that like button if you're in here right now. We appreciate you guys. Yeah, hit that like button. Also, I'm going to leave you a little goodie here in the chat. If you want to join the It Just Means More tier at Southeastern 16, we bring it up every day. And so if you get tired of hearing about it, all you got to do is join. You don't have to hear about it. Then you're like, hey, at least, it's worth it. But we did a special members-only video yesterday with our monthly awards for SEC basketball, our player of the year /month, coach of the year /month, all that stuff for the first month of the season. So you can check that out. A lot of you guys have already that are joining the tier. So check it out. Lots of fun awards in there, all sorts of good stuff. So we got a lot more members-only videos and live streams coming for you guys. The watch-alongs are coming soon. If you're a Kentucky fan in here, we'll be watching some Kentucky games live. We'll also watch some retro games. We'll be watching other games in the SEC too. So there you go. Appreciate you guys. And there's the link if you want to check out the members-only SEC basketball awards for the first month of the season.
I have a question for you guys. I said the thing that I wanted to watch last night was how did they handle point guard. And this is not a criticism of Kentucky. I think if you got every team down to, we've got to have a third point guard, you would see a drop-off. And Otega Oweh in his career has not really been a primary ball handler type of guy. You go back and look last year, Oklahoma, 1 assist flat to 1.8 turnovers. So not a guy that appears to be naturally suited for that role. I thought he looked fine last night, took the ball to the rack a couple of times. Now, look, Colgate is not going to put up the resistance defensively that Tennessee or Auburn or someone like that is. But how did you guys evaluate? And I don't know that it's going to matter much because you're going to get one of these point guards back before too long. But, I mean, I'm guessing they're going to need him to play some backup minutes there. When they get Butler back, I'm presuming Butler's going to be back before Kriisa. I think that's probably not far-fetched. How do you feel about what you saw there last night from him running point?
It was kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. I don't think it was. I wasn't coming away from it, thinking like, holy crap, he's running the point the entire game. I mean, you had 15 assists and only 16 turnovers. 6 team turnovers, not 16. Might have come off the tongue weird there. But last night it was just like, can we just, not be sloppy here? And I think they did that well. Only 6 turnovers and then also only 6 fouls. I thought they played very clean. And it's nice to know that you can do that without Butler.
I'm just looking ahead to the schedule because I think that's what's interesting is if you're trying to figure out how they're going to navigate a tougher schedule for a while. If Kerr Kriisa is not back in 10 days, and how they're gonna navigate the schedule, right? Louisville defensively, they're a team Pat Kelsey style. They're gonna force some turnovers.
Yep.
The way they play. Ohio State, good defensive team. I think I'm looking at their turnover numbers. They don't force a lot, but they're a pretty good defensive team. We know that kind of with the way they're going to play too. Then Brown. Brown just pulled an upset on somebody. Rhode Island. They beat Rhode Island double overtime. So Brown's currently on a 6-game winning streak, folks. But I think Kentucky should win that game. And then you start SEC play. All right. Then we're getting into January. So, at 3 weeks away, you start with Florida at home. I think Florida's a good defensive team, but you can tell me if I'm wrong, Max. I think Florida's size is more of a problem than probably like the pressure defense. Wouldn't you say? Like the size that they're going to bring to the table with the front court and those guys. But
not only the size, but the depth of size.
Yeah, there you go. Like they just got a lot of bigger guys. So okay, so there's one other kind of different, unique approach there. Then you got road games at Georgia, Mississippi State. Again, Mississippi State, I think, they're a team that'll force some turnovers. How they're going to defend, they'll be all over you. And then it's like Texas A&M a month from now. Now that's a game where you're like, all right, Texas A&M is going to be physical on the perimeter. They're going to be physical in the paint. So I think it's really, for me, like just looking ahead and just looking at those things. But we don't know. We just don't know when guys are going to be available. So you would think Butler's going to be back soon enough here, if not Saturday, shortly after. And I think they'll be fine once that happens. I really do. Like I think they'll be okay once he's back on the floor. And once they get Kriisa back, they'll be back to where they were. So, not really any huge concerns right now for me. Unless Butler is out longer than we think.
Yeah,
then that's the only reason I would say that.
I was just gonna say these next two games, Blake, and you mentioned Louisville and Ohio State. While they might not, force too much perimeter pressure defensively, on the flip side, Chucky Hepburn's playing outstanding right now, and he's a physical little pit bull of a guard that's going to be tough to guard all game. And then Ohio State, I mean, you name it in that backcourt. Michi, Bruce Thornton, the freshman Mobley. So maybe not, maybe won't be tested as much trying to take care of the ball, but definitely going to be tested defensively, trying to defend these guards, Louisville and Ohio State.
Okay, back to Kriisa. It was a broken foot, which he actually played on for a defensive possession, which is incredible.
Monster.
Have they said where he's broken his foot?
I have no clue.
I mean, I've broken a foot before, and I'll tell you this. And look, I'm not Kirk Kriisa. I had no, I did not have the medical attention on me all the time like those players are going to get, because they're going to have some advantages with all those things. But I broke my foot in college, and it basically, and I did it I think mid-January. It cost me intramural basketball. It cost me like all the stuff that I would have been doing as a college kid. I mean,
you would have been Kirk Kriisa.
Well, if my point is this: if Kirk Kriisa comes back in 10 days, then holy smokes! But I'm just feeling that's, again, I'm comparing my broken foot to his, but I haven't been through that a little bit. I mean, and you got to put pressure back on it. I just think it's not like your foot is not a body part that you can just sit back and.
Hey, nobody's in here.
And rest. You're putting weight on it. Is my point. It's not like healing a broken pinky on your left hand, which you could pretty well rest. Thank you, Sam.
Sam apologizes for your injury there.
I'm over it. It's been a minute now, but
yeah, there you go. All right, let's talk about the weekend stuff.
The other thing too is you've got to go through the process of planning and testing it and everything and all that. I'm just, if he's back in 10 days, then I'll be.
No, he's not going to be back.
Yeah, I think that 6 weeks is more like it, and I wonder if it might even be longer. But anyway,
I think it's the context of what I said earlier. I don't think Mark Pope was being 100% serious when he said 10 days. He was just having fun with us. So, anyways, all right, weekend. Like we say, we know Kentucky's going to play Louisville. By the way, folks, we will have game previews / predictions coming up for some of the bigger games. We're going to put those up tomorrow. Max, I would say probably. I know our Kentucky fans probably want a Kentucky-Louisville preview. I think we can probably do something to make that happen. We will also, and these will be single videos, remember. These will be separate videos. We'll probably do one for that. We'll do one for Tennessee-Illinois. I'm sure that's, probably the biggest game. A&M Purdue's an interesting one, but we will have our predictions, Auburn, Ohio State. A lot of big games coming up this weekend, Max. Just initial thoughts on which game's most intriguing to you here as we start to preview the weekend?
Well, first we've got one tonight. We've got a Texas-New Mexico State game, and so that is not a bad game.
It's gonna be down my rankings. I'm just telling you, okay? It will be further down my rankings. I will tell you that. But
that's just kind of New Mexico State is a program that for most of the last decade has been that 13, 14 seed in the NCAA tournament where they win 25 games during the regular season. But I mean, that's been a weird program for a couple of years. Chris Jans obviously is gone now. You had they were the place that had the or am I confusing them with somebody else with all the off field issues? Yeah, that appear to have taken their toll when I look at their record coming into this and their Ken Palm ranking, which is 193.
They did just come off a win in overtime at New Mexico, which is impressive. Yeah. Okay, well, you're all in on this one then tonight, Max. I'll watch it, but I can't say that this is a game that I am expecting to after the slate we have on Saturday. I can't imagine that I'm going to look back and say, you know what, folks, the best game we saw in the last 3 days was Texas New Mexico State. If it is, then we got a big problem for the Saturday games. It's no offense to Texas or New Mexico State. I just don't see that as intriguing of a matchup as some of these others coming up here soon.
Mexico State still have Teddy Allen? I think he's still there. Joke.
But this is why Max is Max, all right? He's all in on – you could put Texas against anybody, right? I mean, they could play Chris's intramural team, and Max would be all in on the data and the stats. So,
well, we do have – thank you for that, Blake. We have that game, but Saturday – I mean, you just look down the line. I mean, it's just top 50 matchup. And it's going to be a long day of hoops. All right, wake up early on Saturday, get your workout in, get the coffee, get the eggs and bacon in, because starting at noon, 1 o'clock, we got games to watch, and we're not stopping until, what's the last game? Bama Creighton? I mean, that thing's not going to end until 11 at night. We got a 12-hour shift on Saturday of some SEC hoops. Can't wait.
Shift. That's what it is. Yeah, you're right. Shift. It's a 12-hour shift coming up on Saturday. But I think, like I said, we will break these games down a bit more over tomorrow's, especially. We'll have previews, like we said, for the games tomorrow, the bigger ones. But I think that it's the high-profile games will get a lot of attention. Again, this is a huge opportunity for like a Texas A&M, who we said I think is starting to really build a nice resume. And if they were to beat Purdue, like that's even better than for the Aggies. And then they finally get to go into SEC play, not being like completely concerned about what they have to do to all of a sudden make up a resume, before they get to March, which I feel like has been the case.
Look when that game starts, Blake.
When does it start?
It starts at 11 a.m. Eastern or Central. 11 a.m. Central.
Boy.
You get to watch some clean basketball to start your day, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's how it works. But well, I'm sure that'll be that game will start earlier than any game. It'll probably still be going whenever the 3 p.m. game tips off with the amount of free throws potentially.
Let's set a record for before noon free throw attempts. See if we can do it.
Jeez, I bet it's 30 or more. All right, so we got that. Again, Tennessee, Illinois. I mean, this is and let's be honest, like this is where people, if Tennessee loses that game, let's just have that discussion right now.
Yeah.
Tennessee loses to Illinois. You know what the conversation is going to be.
Yep.
It's their first big test, and if they go lose that game, then all of a sudden people are going to start backtracking on Tennessee. Now, how the game plays out, I'll make my judgment then on that. But it is a kind of a big opportunity for the Vols because it's an Illinois team, that lost to Northwestern. What was that, last week? And then, now they get a huge home game. They beat Wisconsin, I think, earlier this week, didn't they? And then
I think so.
So now, like, this is a big game. And so it's a big opportunity. But where I was going to get to before we got sidetracked, which we do every single time here, I think it's a big weekend for, like, teams like LSU, who plays SMU. It's a big weekend for, like, an Oklahoma who plays in Oklahoma State, which, again, like, Oklahoma State is, they're okay. They're not great. But these are, again, we keep saying the kind of games you need to win to keep that momentum going because you can't afford a loss in this SEC hierarchy right now. Like, no one can, right? You just can't do it. So I feel like that's where we're at with these, and so it's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out with these big games and even the games that some people may not perceive as big. So, yeah.
Hey, we got...
Oh, yeah, hold on. Let's check in here. So
we got some
So Devin
Nice.
has gifted 5 Southeastern 16 memberships. If you were the lucky person, it looks like Austin got one out of this. What that means is Austin and everybody else who got gifted by Devin himself. Hold on, let me see. It didn't. Okay, so yeah, I think Devin's right. It doesn't let him pick, so it's just like a random thing. So don't blame Devin if he didn't pick you, but it's a random thing. It allows you to give out some free ones. So if you just joined, the It Just Means More tier via Devin's nice, gift here, go back and check out 2 of the videos we've done this week. We did the members hangout on Monday, I think it was, an hour long, where you get to kind of listen to us just talk about anything and everything, not necessarily related to the SEC or sports in general, although you do get to talk about my free throw excellence, folks. That's worth the gift membership alone. But you also get to watch the members only awards we did yesterday for the SEC in the first month. So go check that out if you got gifted a membership. And yes, appreciate it, Devin. Memberships, Max, they're skyrocketing right now. Southeastern 16. That's what we like to see. You guys are getting a lot of extra content, and we appreciate it. All right,
Games this weekend. I was going to ask you, I look at this, and look, you guys are more dug in on the national scene than I am right now. I will start catching up a little bit as soon as we get past football, as I'm doing double duty. But I look at this, and I think about 2/3 of these games that the SEC is playing this weekend are going to be, on paper, you can make a case are competitive. Is that about right?
What was the question?
I'm asking. I'm looking at the slate of Saturday SEC games. The game, okay, I'll just run them down. Texas A&M, Purdue, competitive. LIU, Missouri, probably not competitive. Auburn, Ohio State, competitive. South Carolina, Upstate, South Carolina, not competitive. Arizona State, Florida, competitive. Southern Miss, Ole Miss, not competitive. Central Arkansas, not competitive. LSU, SMU, competitive. Louisville, Kentucky, probably competitive. Interesting, at least. Tennessee, Illinois, competitive. McNeese State, Mississippi State, competitive. Grand Canyon, Georgia, competitive. Oklahoma State, competitive. Creighton, Alabama, competitive. Is that how we see it?
It's a huge weekend. I think this is the biggest weekend yet. I think the biggest Saturday yet.
Look at this. Wow. Folks.
Oh, my.
Like, we're trying to stay on task here, but we've just got the best chat in the history of Southeastern 16 here, just giving out memberships left and right. 5 more gifted by Mother Carol. Nathan gets one. Nathan is in.
Hey!
All right. Nathan is in. So, poor Matt. Is Matt still left out? We're trying, Matt. Everybody's trying to give you one. You're still left out. My goodness, this is ridiculous.
Poor Matt.
Again, I tried yesterday to give, who was it? Joe Mother yesterday. I tried to just figure out a way to give, but I don't think it's I don't know how you do it.
Is it a random assignment?
When you gift them, I'm pretty sure it's random if it is like, not us. Like, I think we can find a way to give a certain person a membership, but if someone that's a member does it, I think, it's a random thing. So
just to somebody who's in the room.
I honestly don't know how that works. I really don't know. I'll just be honest with you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. Oh boy. Oh no. Look at this question, guys. Oh boy. Auburn fan 123. How do you join members only on a phone? Oh no. We went through this for 15 minutes yesterday. All right. Here's what I think you have to do. Okay. Quickly, and I know, like, if you're listening to this on the replay, you're like, we do this every day. I get it, but hey, we're running a business here, folks. Go to the main page, Southeastern 16 YouTube, okay? Go to the home where you have all the playlists and all that other stuff, right? Go to the main deal, and you'll see the members section, and it'll give you the option from there to join. It's somewhere in there, I promise. It'll say join, click on one of the videos, anything like that. If you click on any of the members' videos, it will give you the option to join. So that's all you got to do. So, and yes, just so we're all aware here, okay? If you join the It Just Means More tier at Southeastern 16, this is not our version of OnlyFans, folks.
I don't think that's what it's called.
This is not our version of that, just so we're clear. You get extra bonus content, but it's not that kind of content, all right? We're all fully clothed. Everyone has their clothes on. That's how it works at Southeastern 16, okay? It's efficiency. That's what we
Get
focus
your
on.
head out of the gutter, Matt.
My goodness, folks.
We especially would not do that to Blake in his present shape.
Listen, now, if you're asking for this kind of content, sure, we can add another tier. It may be quite a bit of money, but
I will not be part of that.
Might have to be $100+ or so. All right, maybe 500. That may be the value that we're looking at on that. But
you know what we do need?
It's further down the road.
We do need free throw content. People want some free throw content. Let's do a time lapse of 100 just knockdowns. Boom, boom.
Listen, we are fully considering this. Whenever we all get together for the SEC tournament, I have already pitched the idea that we go to the local YMCA and we live stream a free throw shooting masterclass from the YMCA, where we're just going to have, probably have to be Chris rebounding.
Yes.
Chris will be the rebounder. Max will be running the chat and be doing the live, ESPN style presentation. And I will be at the free throw line just knocking them down left and right, time after time. So,
Blake against Chris, 1 versus 1.
Do you want a one-on-one?
No threes.
I mean,
old school.
Listen.
Old school hoops.
Hey.
This is now that's the real content there.
Yeah. That's it. So there you go. All right. I don't know how we got here, but this is how it works in the live. This has been a great live stream. So, anyways, all right, Max, we got a lot of stuff starred here. I don't know if we need to go back through these. By the way, Bryce has joined. Shout out to Bryce, who just became a YouTube member as well. Lots of good content. You can go back and watch there, Bryce, the past couple of days. A lot more. By the way, we have a baseball show coming today for members only, too. Chris, Alfred, and Graham did a baseball show. You can watch that today. That's some members only stuff. You want to check it out. Looking at the top prospects in the SEC in the 2025 MLB draft. So there's an extra bonus content. I told you, we're just throwing content everywhere for our members right now. So coming your way as well today. So there you go.
By the way, we're already starting baseball season prep behind the scenes, which is about 3 months ahead of where we were this time a year ago. So
Max, I think Max needs to jump in on baseball with the mustache. I feel like it's his deal now. So
I was probably the worst little league baseball player that you've ever seen. Batted ninth and then would sit out an inning or two on defense because I was so bad. Yeah. It was not fun. Anyways, what's going to be fun is this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, there's so many good games. We'll preview them. I think Auburn, Ohio State, that's another big one for Auburn. I mean, just how many times we said that,
Another one.
Another one for Auburn to just build what already is probably the most impressive resume out there. And now they got a chance to do it in Atlanta against Ohio State. So I think big opportunity for the Tigers in that game. We mentioned Tennessee. Alabama's got another big one against Creighton.
Rivalry.
Yeah, I would. Do you know, Max? Look at the numbers on this. Now I know Creighton's 7-3, but if you look at KenPom, Alabama's an 11-point advantage here. It's wild, isn't it?
The not having Kalkbrenner for a little bit just dragged their analytics way down. I think they're a bit better than a 11-point dog, but hey, you never know. It's a rivalry, and Alabama wants some revenge.
They clocked Connecticut a week or two ago, right? And it played better, as they've gotten it. Don't they have another injury though? Am I dreaming that?
Pop Isaacs just went down for the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
That might be another reason why.
Yeah. Like I said, the sneaky.
I wanted to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I wanted to mention. Did you see Brad Underwood on Field of 68 the other day? He said he was talking about his coaching against Northwestern. Illinois just is coming off the Wisconsin win, but the game before that, they dropped in a road game to Northwestern in overtime. Tough loss. And I haven't really seen a coach have accountability like Underwood had. He was like, I was horrible in that game. I didn't go deep enough into my bench. That was just a piss poor coaching job by me. And I was like, whoa, that's some accountability, some self-accountability I haven't seen in a while. So what I'm trying to get at is Illinois and Underwood are going to come into this game pissed off, upset with themselves. So big game there.
Yeah. How? I mean, I get they're so many good games. We'll preview them. I think Auburn, Ohio State, that's another big one for Auburn. And now they got a chance to do it in Atlanta against Ohio State. So
How much of a fight? Well, I think they can. I think McNeese State and Mississippi State could be interesting because State's not played well. 2 of its last 3. The one in the middle was spectacular, but that's a Will Wade team.
Could be interesting. I mean, they've 2 of McNeese's wins, are against non-Division I competition so far this year. They've lost the bigger games, but I still think they're pretty. I think, I don't think it'll be easy by any means because again, it's a Will Wade coach team, and people say what they want, but I think Will Wade's a really good coach, and they can bring up the history or whatever, but I think he'll have a game plan ready that could make it interesting. Mississippi State, like you said, Chris, because they've not been the sharpest outside of just that Pitt game over the past several weeks. But Georgia Grand Canyon, you brought that up, Max. That's another one.
Yeah,
that I think is kind of fascinating. You got Bryce Drew, coaching up the Antelopes there, Grand Canyon, and you've got that's another one that's going to take place. How many SEC teams are playing in Atlanta this weekend?
A lot.
Georgia Grand Canyon.
2, yeah.
Well,
in,
Auburn, Ohio
Florida.
State, Florida, and Arizona State, right? So, is there another one?
Oh, I guess it's no, but you got a lot of games at like neutral sites or semi-neutrals.
Yeah, but like those, all 3 are at State Farm, right? So there's got to be a 4th,
Yes.
right? You wouldn't just have 3. There's got to be another game that I'm forgetting, maybe.
Well, who would? I don't think it's an SEC game, but yeah, you're right.
Seems
I mean,
odd. Why not? I
yeah.
mean,
they have to play 2 games that day. They have to get through the Atlanta traffic, and then they have to play their actual game.
that's a good point.
Oh gosh, yes.
Good point. That's a great point, actually. But yeah, so I just think that again, there's a lot of the pessimist in me is like, could this be like the SEC's?
I knew that was coming. I knew it.
Well, because I keep texting you, I'm like,
Yep.
the SEC has to lose some of these games at some point, right? They have to. Like, it's been so good to this point that you keep looking up and you're like, come on, they've got to lose some of these games eventually, don't they? They can't be this dominant. But that's just us trying to be unbiased. But, sometimes it's hard not to be. It's just because it's been such a great start that I think you're going to look up and the SEC is probably going to lose some of these games on Saturday. The problem is it's hard to pick which ones because there are a lot of games you feel like that are against good competition, as Chris brought up. But, you also look at the other ones and you're like, okay, this is where all the other teams that should take care of business better take care of business. Like, you can't drop these kind of games anymore. Like we said, the bad loss avoidance. Like, the league's done such a great job at that so far. And so you've got to make sure that you do that in these games on Saturday. Should be a great slate for sure. So.
By the way, how do we get a State Farm Center and a State Farm Arena? Tennessee, Illinois is going to be in the State Farm Center, and the Atlanta games at the State Farm Arena.
I can't.
Well, I mean, State Farm's got some money. That's for sure. So, no doubt about it. And while we've been talking, I don't know if you guys have seen it. My goodness, we've added 2 more members here. Barb's
my
in.
goodness.
It just means more it's here. Auburn fan figured it out on the phone how to
There
join.
we go.
Maybe send step-by-step instructions for everyone else. We might need to pin those for every video. But 2 more members, so wow, our numbers for the membership shooting up today. And again, we got a lot of bonus content. Check out the basketball stuff we've done and / football last couple of days. The Hangout. I think the Hangout, guys, if you want to know all about Southeastern 16, behind the scenes, the Hangout we did on Monday, you should watch that. That was a lot of fun. And if you want to watch our early season awards, you can do that. We did yesterday. So, but anyways. All right.
Okay.
We are about to, what did you send, Max? What do you got?
Yep. But I wanted to get this in right before we wrap up. Okay. I just sent Blake a tweet, and while he is pulling that up, it's from the Mark Titus show. If you don't know the Titus show. So we got this comment from Matt. We need a Southeastern 16 and John Fanta collaboration. Now, what Blake's going to pull up here is a Spaces clip, okay, of John Fanta in a Spaces, all right? And he's got this is one of the funniest things I have seen. I probably rewatched this clip like 3 or 4 times, no exaggeration. This is hilarious, okay? It's a Bryant fan, right, in the American East, just setting the tone here. It's a Bryant fan trying to pitch to John Fanta that Bryant might end up in the Big East eventually, and Fanta's reaction is gold. I mean, it is so funny.
All right.
He is.
How long do we need? It's 2 minutes
Just
long.
do like the first 30 seconds. Just do like the first 30 seconds.
All right.
And this is too good.
Okay.
Just listen to like the first 30 seconds of this.
For the Big East, if you will. Wait, what is? For Brian, this game. Let's see if we can hang with the Big East. Somewhat of an audition. UConn's leaving.
Okay,
Guys are
Tony,
moving.
that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. I mean, that is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life.
It could happen. I'm just saying, 10, 15 years.
It can't happen.
It
Get
could.
off the boat. You got Brian joining the Big East? Are you out of your right mind?
John,
They're not
we're in
joining the
Rhode
Big East.
Island.
What kind of a conference do you think this is?
We're in Rhode Island. We got Paisans, Jared Grazzo, Italian coach.
Take your Paisans and take your criminal previous head coach and get out of here. Come on.
There you go.
Oh,
I mean,
my
that
gosh.
was too
John
good.
Fanta,
Too good.
a true star. Oh my.
Was that
I
to take your previous criminal head coach in there? Is that
Let's
what I
not
heard?
go down that rabbit hole.
I was going to ask, but maybe I shouldn't.
You got it,
all
love
right.
Fanta. One of the top comments is at all the Barstool guys and just says blank check. Get this guy on the big stage. Gotta
My
love
goodness.
Fanta.
Well, you know what? That's actually a great segue, folks. Do you want to know why? Because there's multiple reasons, if you ask me. By the way, Mother Carol earlier said that she would be willing to make the drive to Nashville, be the moderator at the YMCA for the free throw shooting contest, the one-on-one game between Chris Lee and I.
That's no contest.
If she decided to do that, or let's say the Big East decided to let Bryant in at some point, and they needed to perhaps visit the Big East office or make a move, like maybe they just want to move the university somewhere else, right? To say you have to move here to be part of the Big East, or if we want to just move Mother Carol to Nashville. Well, I'll tell you one thing. She knows this. She knows that there's someone she could call. If she not only wanted to be the moderator at the YMCA, she wanted to move down, be the new moderator full-time for Southeastern 16. Although moderating this chat sometimes could be a challenge. She can do it with none other than our friends at Sanders Logistics. Little did you guys know that was coming, huh? Because Sanders Logistics, as we continue to say, your friends and mine, formerly known as Ted R. Sanders Moving, they are a leader among moving companies in Nashville, Tennessee, and the surrounding area. Their team of professional movers focused on delivering efficient, hassle-free moving at an affordable price. Whether you're moving across town, across the country, to Nashville, to the Big East, to anywhere in between, Sanders Logistics has you covered. You can visit them at tedrsandersmoving.com, folks. And you know what? We gave out an award yesterday. I see we have so many comments that come in, and I don't look at them while I'm reading the Sanders Logistics, but I just see the comments just grow rapidly when we start talking about our guys at Sanders Logistics. And that's the way it should be, because it's all about, again, hassle-free, efficient moving process. And we gave out an award on the SEC Basketball Monthly Award Show yesterday for Sanders Logistics, the Efficiency Award. You can go watch that to check out who we gave it to. But there you go. Check it out. Sanders Logistics, Tokyo, the North Pole, as Sam is saying. North Pole, that's actually not a bad idea. I'll give him a call. Maybe you can go visit Santa at the North Pole, and you can do it with our friends at Sanders Logistics.
Beautiful.
All right. Somehow we did a 50-minute show on one game.
We can do it. We can just do that every day.
What we do here, folks.
Bryant University has 3,751 students, according to Wikipedia. It is not even Catholic, which is like kind of the other requirement to be in the Big East. It's like, am I missing something here? Apparently not.
All right.
Alrighty.
That's actually a great idea from Nathan here, by the way. By the way, we had Nicholas join the It Just Means More tier. Man, we're going to have to, we might have to go do some more members content for you guys. You guys are just jumping in, ready to go on the membership. While trying to get high-profile ads, I'll need to show them Sam Smith's comments. Yeah, maybe. And also, on the way out here, I forgot, we got one more voicemail we need to play on the way out.
Oh, no.
We do have,
Oh,
don't
no.
worry, it's not It's not from Sam Smith. So
We got a
yeah,
new one.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Sam's just helping us grow the business. Joe Mother, are you really trying to sponsor the show? If you are, then you can reach out to us. You know how to do that. Caroline.smith at Southeastern14.com. Let someone on this thing put this in the chat. Caroline.smith at Southeastern14.com if you want to sponsor the show. And we also need to I got to get to this voicemail in a second. Max, what are you pulling up there? That way I can get this done real quick.
We got boots on the ground at MSG for Cats, Buckeyes. If we need to reach into the cavalry on the front lines.
All right. Oh boy. Yeah, please be nice with the email, folks. It's for serious sponsorships only. Please be nice. Come on. Don't get us in trouble with our business manager here. All right, voicemail on the way out. Here we go. Are you ready?
Here we go.
From Sam Thomas. Here we go.
Sam Thomas here, back at it again. What do we got to do for Sam Smith to read all the ads? Also, this is just another weekly reminder that one of two Mississippi Valley State's victories is over a women's college. Thanks, guys.
Oh man, well, just keep taking shots at the Delta Devils. I don't understand why we've become it. Chris, I think Chris is the reason this began. To be honest with you, but
them and the Panthers of Prairie View.
All right, we're out of here. So
We should
When
do a
are we
power
back?
ranking of Sam's.
We got Texas tonight. We'll get the previews tomorrow, right?
yeah, so
For the bigger
we're back
ones?
tomorrow. So the way I envision it is, yeah, we'll have some videos,
Yep.
probably not live tomorrow. We'll have some videos coming up tomorrow with our predictions for the big games. Again, we will decide which of those games we think need the prediction videos, and we'll have multiple of those coming up tomorrow for you guys. So you can get your SEC basketball fix on that tomorrow. And Saturday, we will probably do a live stream at some point in the afternoon, evening time, I think. Right?
That's like game time. We're gonna be, but just don't know which slot on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna just tell you right now. My guess is it's probably gonna be somewhere from like 6 to 8 Central. So just as a heads up. So we're gonna do that there. And again, members only content coming today, baseball wise. You can check out the stuff if you're a new member. Go back and watch the stuff we did on the past couple of days. And yeah, football bowl predictions are coming too. That's gonna probably there are gonna be a lot of those over the next several days. So there you go. A lot of stuff on the way at Southeastern 16.
Nice.
All right, I think that's a wrap. Thanks to everybody for watching, for commenting, for your super chats, for your super chat gifts, all those things. For Max Barr and Blake Lovell, I'm Chris Lee. This is Southeastern 16 presented by BetOnline. God bless you. We'll see you again soon.